Hey friend, Roger Christofferson here again with another first listener review, and this is not one I was planning on babbling about. I saw it was coming out, thought it was pretty cool, didn't really know what it was actually at first. I didn't see that there was any announcement that he was going to be doing a new album. I'm talking about Kenny Wayne Shepherd. This is actually an album he did with an old blues artist by the name of Bobby Rush, and I have to admit, I'm not super familiar with Bobby Rush. I am actually pretty good big fan, follower of Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Child prodigy, I guess he was what he was when I first heard about him, and I was actually lucky enough to get to see him in concert once, and I was actually blown away when I saw him with the Double Trouble. He had the old Stevie Ray Vaughan rhythm section with him at that point in time. That was pretty cool. It was a smaller venue that I saw him in, and it was actually one of the coolest experiences I've had at a show with a bigger artist and a nice small venue. Not super small, but it's probably a couple hundred seater, but or more, maybe, I don't know, 200, 300 people. But it was a nice little show, and I got the tickets. I don't remember if I got them for free, but it was like last minute, and I just ended up being able to go, and it was pretty cool. Took my son along with me and really enjoyed it. So, but I had been a fan before that. In fact, I actually played the song Blue on Black in one of the bands I was in previously, and that was always a cool little fun song to play. So anyway, Bobby Rush, however, I don't know a whole lot about, which is kind of strange to me because I went through this phase like back in my early 20s where I was like super into blues music. Watched the Crossroads album when I was like young, late teens there, and it kind of opened up a whole new world to me. I remember seeing Stevie Ray Vaughan on Saturday Night Live, and he played the song So What, and I was like mesmerized by that performance. And that just kind of led into a deep dive into the older blues artists. Oh, the funny thing is, B.B. King was actually one of my favorite guitar players right from the very start. His style of vibrato is like super cool, and actually named my son after his real name, so that was how much of an influence he was on me. So I've definitely always been into this style of music, but for whatever reason, Bobby Rush was never on my radar. But on here, I guess there's like a 44-year difference between the two. Bobby Rush is like 91, I think is what I read, or 90-year-old, I guess, I don't know, somewhere in that ballpark. And no, that's a pretty big difference, but they've done a couple shows and played together in the past, I guess, a couple live things here and there. But the pairing up here was actually really cool. This wasn't really what I was expecting at all from a Kenny Wayne Shepherd album. He's a little bit more, on the rock side of things. Although some of his acoustic work, I think, is some of the best stuff he's ever done. It's like some of my favorite playing is some of the stuff he's done, with the acoustic guitar. And this is like an interesting mix of songs here. I've listened to it here a few times through, all blues. The funny part is the length of these songs is actually what surprised me the most. They're not, sometimes blues are just really, especially the older ones are just really short songs, but most of these are 4, 5, 6 minutes long. There's a couple that were right up there, and I can't remember the length of all these, but I remember telling me these songs are pretty long, which was fine. I just was surprised by it. The other thing that I kind of liked about it is it's stylistically, even though it's blues based, it's all over the place. It's kicks in with like full band on Who Was That, and then as the album goes on, a lot of it is just guitar and vocals by Bobby. Bobby does like all the vocals on here, and just a little different tastes of the styles of blues. There's different sound even when Kenny's playing with his electric. There's a few different times where he's using like a super overdriven like fuzzy tone, but even though it's just the guitar and the vocals, there's no full band, even though you would expect that with that sound of the guitar anyway. But there's, I don't know, but it's only 10 songs too. I lost my train of thought there, but we don't edit here, so it's just me babbling, as I always promise I will do. Yeah, the stuff on like 40 Acres How Long is really cool, but it's got that one's got on keyboards, and that one's got Charles Hodges playing some B3, and that's had like a really cool, almost gospel type feel to it. I really like that one. And then the distortion on a Hey Baby, what are we gonna do? That solo on that one from Kenny just gave me kind of like a Howlin' Wolf type vibe. So he's channeling a lot of different. I thought it was kind of cool how he did that on this album. He's kind of channeling, different styles of the blues guitarist that influenced him, that may have been around in the day of Bobby. And I thought it was kind of interesting that he changed things up in each song too to do that. After listening to it a few times, I noticed that the other song on Make Love to You, the piano, and it's got that chain gang type stomp thing going on in that one, gave that one a very unique feel as well. And there's stuff like that through the whole album. Although I tell you what, the song Young Ways, the solo on that one is probably my favorite one on the whole album. It's track number 9. That one just blew me away. Just playing this impresses me more and more every time I hear him. The song G-String had it's exactly what you think it's about. I guess Bobby's kind of known for his style of raunchier lyrics, and that one, I guess, was no exception at all. Like I said, don't really know his stuff too well, although this is one of those albums, I've said it before, that it makes me want to go back and like listen to stuff, even though I've never heard anything by him before. It makes me want to maybe pull out a few of Kenny's albums I haven't listened to in a little bit, and definitely makes me want to go check out some Bobby Rush. So anyway, yeah, it's a cool little treat I didn't know was coming out. Wasn't really planning on talking about it, but after listening to it a few times through, I was like, man, this is actually a really cool album. I really enjoyed it. So I think fans of either one of these two artists are going to really enjoy this one, and it's kind of fun when you hear a younger person actually playing with somebody in the style and age of what influenced him. I always find that interesting, and he did it very respectfully. Kenny, I think he did a very respectful job of playing to Bobby's strengths. At least that's what I got from this. So anyway, as always, welcome you to leave your comments, anything you think about this album or anything I should check out by Bobby. If there's fans of him out there that want to suggest anything I should check out first, or anybody else listening for that matter, that's what we're all here for. And as always, I ask you to like, share, and subscribe to keep this music alive, because dang, I can't wait to hear some more cool stuff like this from Kenny. It's nice when somebody in it that's kind of maybe you think they're in just one certain style, and even though this is a certain style, can still like spread out and expand within that style of playing. So I thought it was pretty cool. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you.